very dark, very dark, that he could even think that he could stand in a public forum and tell a mother to go home and beat the shit out of her daughter.
It's horrible.
I mean, I can't even wrap my mind around
David,
that.
can you imagine? I can't either. David, can you imagine if Kamala Harris is holding a rally? Now, she would never do this, but I'm just giving a hypothetical. And there was a female Trump heckler there, and then as they were escorting her away, the crowd chanting whatever they were chanting, and then Kamala Harris said the same thing. It would be
the kiss of death.
Right. It would be leaning on Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham and Mark Levin and all these shows. They wouldn't stop talking about it. They would play it over and over again. But if Donald Trump does it, it's par for the course, right?
Yeah, but just for his people, and the fact that this is even a close election causes great concern, and it's not just me. All of my friends who are like-minded, for want of a better phrase, they can't even look at the news anymore. It's so depressing.
It is depressing, but at the same time, my friend, if we have an outcome that we want in November, we are going to be partying it up, and it will not be depressing. So let's hope that happens. Thank you for the call, David. 702.
Hi, Brian. I wanted to talk about the people that were stranded over the weekend at Trump's rally. I hope these people are not going to vote for him and realize who he is, and he will use people for a vote and then throw them under the bus.
Okay, Maureen, let me comment on that. I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm going to give you some news that you don't want to hear. I can almost guarantee you that every single one of those people will still be voting for Donald Trump. Why? Because they don't care about the 34 felonies. They don't care about the liable sexual abuse. They don't care about the swindler and the Trump University and, you know, the racist, bigoted statements that he makes almost on a regular basis. They don't care about what he said about the illegal Haitian migrants. So that means they certainly aren't going to care, even if something directly affects them, because his policies directly affect them. They're certainly not going to care if they had to walk a couple hours to their car. Now, they cared that night, but that's not going to be enough for them to switch their vote, because many of these people, not all of them, but many of these people are very uneducated, ill-informed people. And as Donald Trump said it himself, I could vote for somebody, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, and they'll still vote for me. So sadly, the answer is overwhelmingly these people are still going to support Donald Trump.
Unbelievable. You know what? They don't understand that if this idiot gets back in the White House, our democracy is gone, and they'll be the first ones that will be crying. What happened? Oh, what did we do? They're going to lose everything. And once you lose democracy, it's not coming back.
But you know what these right-wingers would say? They would say, you're inciting violence, Maureen. Somehow, you're inciting violence by saying he's a threat to democracy. But when Donald Trump incites a mob and people die, that's not inciting violence, and he bears no responsibility. But if we speak the obvious, the earth is not flat, it's round, and Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, somehow that means that we're inciting violence. That's how these stupid right-wing idiots think.
Unbelievable. I'm scared. I really am.
Well, it's okay to feel a little scared about what could happen. I think the correct word for me is worried, but I'll tell you this. You do your part. I promise you I'll do mine, and let's make sure that Donald Trump never sees the White House again, Maureen, and it's good to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
I've been listening to your show, and it actually calms me down a little bit to know there's a lot of people out there that think like us. Unfortunately, I live in an area where it's Trump country, and you can't have a conversation with them at all. They don't listen to anything, and my concern is that how do we get it across to them that this Project 2025 is going to take away so many things? It won't even look like the same country anymore.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So here's my response to that. The first thing I would say is there is a small percentage of people that are Trump supporters that you can get through to. I've proven that on this show, as I had several people last week who have said they've now changed their vote because of this show. And that's good. Sadly, the overwhelming majority of people that still support Trump, you will never be able to get through. Many of them are ill-informed. Many of them are uneducated. Many of them can't admit that they're wrong. Many of them are complicit. And they don't care about Project 2025. In fact, some of them endorse it and believe in it. Many of them are bigots, racists. They want abortion to be banned throughout the country. Many of these people, by the way, are middle-aged, crusty white men who want to tell a woman what to do with her own body. They're despicable. But it doesn't mean that there isn't hope. And when somebody calls into this show and they sound like they're somewhat reasonable with a brain, even though I might disagree with them, then I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to listen to them. And it has worked because some people that I do talk to, especially recently, not only call into the show and say they're hearing me and they're changing their vote, but they're willing to listen. So there is some hope, but sadly many of these people are cult clan followers. Thank you for the call, dear. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff is next up on PTL. Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hey, Brian, I hope you had a good weekend.
Good.
So, Trump regularly campaigns by saying, no wars on his watch. And I got to quote 20th century philosopher Lenny Dykstra. I call bullshit on that. In March 2020, Trump repeatedly claimed to be a wartime president when COVID was raging, and he was calling it the Gina virus, and there were 15 cases, and soon it will be 0. He made it very clear that it was a wartime situation, and he was a wartime president.